Okay, so I've had some questions about building pedals, so I figured I'd go over some things with you. This will get you started on building your pedals. I recommend a StewMac kit to begin with if you've never built one. Then you can move on to uh, Aeon Effects, or you can move to pedal PCB, something PCB based. Those would be your best options to start with. Then you can go to VeroStrip, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But for now, some of the tools you're going to need. Number one, you're going to need a soldering iron and a soldering station. I'm using a Metcal SP200. I like this station and it works great. You're going to need a pair of fine needle nose pliers. You're going to need a pair of cutters. You're going to need a pair of wire strippers. You're going to need solder. You don't have to have it, but it will help. Some flux, soldering paste, miniature screwdriver, solder sucker from the States, small wrench, open end, box end, crescent wrench, sockets to be able to tighten down your hardware. Another thing that's going to come in handy, PCB soldering station. And another thing that can come in handy for first timers or anybody, desolder wick. So this is a PCB. This is a Aeon Effects Stratus Deluxe. It's basically a Boss SD1 Super Overdrive, the Wazacraft edition, and then they've added on some of their own stuff that we'll talk about in a future video. You're going to need parts. Here, those are my resistors. I have another little keeper with my caps. You're going to need wire. So I use a Teflon coated braided wire. And I choose to do that because the Teflon doesn't really burn off like the plastic coated wires. And this is 22 gauge American wire gauge wire. Perfect for pedals. You're going to have to order some parts. If you do something like an Aeon Effects or a pedal PCB, you have to order all your own parts. So we have knobs. And then I also have another keeper. I've got pots, I've got knobs, I've got your DC hookups, LEDs, I have transistors, JFETs, ICs, foot switches, jacks. I've got standoffs for my transistors and things. I have standoffs for my IC chips. Then I have some standoffs here. You can break this off in how many ever pieces you need. And you can use that if you want to experiment. Like you want to try different cap values or resistor values or LED versus diode, so on and so forth. So anyway, I will take, one more thing you're going to need It doesn't have to be a fancy one, but you're going to need a multimeter. So you can use one like this. You can get a cheaper option. You can pick these up at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. Or if you want to go at it on the extremely cheap and it still works just as good for pedals, Harbor Freight. This one also has the added bonus over here on the left. You can see what your transistor HFE gain is. So I'll get some stuff set up and we'll come back in another video.